Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of the special edition college basketball recap preview show. I hope all of you had a great Easter. I know my friend and I sure did because
Mhm.
tonight it's yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and my partner in crime, Will and D, as we bring you the recap. Bring you the
Mhm.
recap of the college basketball Elite Eight, and we bring you the preview of the Final Four.
It's
How
that
are you?
time of year, Jackson. It's the Final Four. Only four teams left. I'm really excited to see the end of it.
It's gonna be fun. How have you been, man?
I've been good. I've been good. I had a frisbee tournament, so my voice is a little hoarse from screaming and yelling, cheering on at my teammates. So, I'm doing. It's not hurting anymore, so I'm ready for action.
There we go. It's gonna be fun seeing what's happened. Wonder if we've seen some history get made. Well, I mean, we did see UConn go on a 30-0 run against
Mhm.
Illinois. What was your take on this game?
Man, I always want the underdog to win, so I'm not cheering on UConn this year. And hey, it looked like Illinois was right in it with UConn, but bam, 30-0 run, game over. Huskies have been dominant all this whole tournament, and that continued in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, it was interesting to see what happened there. Sad for our guy is Sonny Verma from Illini cast at the Big Ten show, but
Mhm.
mm,
Yeah. Well, maybe next year the Big Ten can end their long streak.
yeah, I mean, there's always next year, as they say.
Hmm.
Big Ten's been hearing that for whoever knows how long.
Hmm.
But we know someone that's not going to be hearing there's always next year. Crimson Tide.
Man, Jackson, I'm happy for you and Ty Guy, Jeffrey. You guys are so happy about your Crimson Tide.
Oh man, history has been made. Mark Sears and Grant Nelson and all those guys. And I know Matt Zemek was talking about how Wimp Sanderson got to witness history right before his
Mhm.
very eyes. Alabama making it to their first ever Final Four in school history. And and it's funny though, I was making a call on the Paul Feinbaum show Thursday afternoon. I was telling Paul, it's funny though, 10 years ago, when you thought of Alabama basketball, you thought of them as like the Kentucky Vanderbilt of the SEC in basketball. But
Mhm.
now they're like hugely successful, with like Auburn going to the Final Four 2019. I mean, yeah, they didn't do so hot this year, but I think they'll be fine next year. But we've
Mhm.
seen Nate Oates do a fantastic job with the Alabama Crimson Tide. And now he's got them in the Final Four, and they're playing against the defending national champion UConn. And look, man, if you heard my phone calls with Austin, like he was hyping me up, and I'm like, I appreciate it, man, but I'll just be happy if we go to a Sweet 16. But I tell you,
A national taste
he was
test
right.
determined America's favorite boneless wings. Apple.
And we got a good evening from our friend Hummus Hero. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's edition of the College Basketball Recap Show.
Thanks for tuning in, Hummus.
Now, what did the Easter Bunny bring us on Easter Sunday? Well, I guess he heard my calls on Twitter, and he heard my calls on past shows of the College Basketball Recap Preview Show. Because
Jackson,
he
I
heard it.
know this must have been a great Saturday and Sunday for you, man. Your Crimson Tide in the Final Four, and you still get to rag on Rick Barnes and the Vols.
That's for sure. But I mean, it's an incredible performance by Purdue, and we heard this was a different Purdue team, and it's not like the past Purdue teams of the past where they come up short in March. And, you know, it's feeling like that they could be like the 2019 Virginia. I mean, losing against 16 seed, then a year later, you'll win it all.
Mm-hmm.
But what
I
do
mean,
you think
Dalton
about
Knecht and
this?
Zach Edey were both incredible this season and this tournament. So it was sad that one of them had to go down, but Zach Edey reigned supreme.
Oh man, he was fantastic. And I'm and as people have seen the past shows, we've ragged on Purdue, and I've ragged on them quite a lot. Like I'll take the blame for that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
I'll take one for the team, Will. Like I ragged on them a lot, especially on Twitter. But do us a solid. Don't rag on Only Talk Sports. He's just doing his job, man. Especially the guy that told him to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Harris says Barnes facing Eddie should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder what it was like for North Carolina on Easter Sunday, because you see your two biggest rivals fighting in the Elite Eight for a Final Four spot. Either way, they lost, regardless. But at least it wasn't Duke for them. But we see history in the making from NC State. What'd you think about this, Will?
Well, my buddy Tyler, my friend at school, he's a Carolina fan. And he's like, you know what? I'll just cheer. I'm going to cheer on NC State. It's going to be weird, but I have to root for the Wolfpack. So he's happy that Duke is lost, of course. But man, Duke could not stop DJ Burns. Like he just dominated them. And Kyle Filipowski. Everyone made fun of him after that Wake Forest debacle, and people are making fun of him here more, man. I mean, he absolutely got dogged by DJ Burns. And
yeah. I mean, I got to tell you, March 12th, North Carolina State, nobody even had them going to March Madness, let alone going to the Final Four. Like, holy Toledo. Let me see. NC State is the lowest seed to ever win the tournament, I believe. But
they were at the time in '83, but they got passed by Villanova in '85. Villanova in '85 was the 8th seed, I believe.
Yup, they were. There's not been a higher seed than that. But it would be interesting to see what happens. Like, I wonder if we'll see Bama and North Carolina State play each other. I'd love to see that, but I don't think that's going to happen.
NC State was a 6th seed. They were the highest at the time.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, Jimmy Valvino is up there in heaven waiting for someone to hug in celebration, especially what he's been seeing on the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
We got a yo from Traveling Fools. How you doing tonight? I hope your Easter was an awesome one, man.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, it was just a fantastic run for this Wolfpack team. I mean, had it not been for that game time shot in the semifinals against Virginia, I don't think we'd be seeing the Cinderella team. But do you think they're really similar to 1983, or am I overreacting?
I mean, they didn't have a big man that was as dominant, but they were the underdog. But they're going to have to, they had to go up against Hakeem Olajuwon in Houston in that national championship game. And Zach Edey is very similar. In fact, they had to go against Hakeem and Clyde Drexler. So they're going to have to deal with another big guy in Zach Edey.
Yeah, I would hate to go up against Zach Edey. Mm-hmm. He's not somebody I want on my bad side.
Mm-hmm.
And thus we have the Final Four, the moment we've been waiting for. We got the NC State Wolfpack and the Purdue Boilermakers on TBS at the State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona.
Mm-hmm. The house that Larry Fitzgerald built. Yeah, I mean, as we were saying before, it's going to be which of the star centers, like DJ Burns or Zach Edey. It's going to be between those two guys, I think.
Yeah.
Also, also teams are going to have to rely on some of their 3-point shooters as well. So we'll see. I definitely think Edey has the better supporting cast, but and Lance Jones for sure definitely has the third best player in the game. We'll see if NC State can pull it out. They've been underdogs this whole run, so although some people had them beating Texas Tech, that was a popular upset pick, but no one had them going this far. So we'll see if they can pull it out.
I had them going as far as Sweet 16. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
But reluctantly, I got to go Purdue.
Yeah, I'll pick Purdue.
And then we got the Alabama Crimson Tide going up against the defending national champion UConn Huskies on TBS.
It's another David versus Goliath matchup right here.
Oh, yeah.
Can Mark Steers dominate UConn? Can he do enough?
Well, they're going to have to really get it rolling in the first half because that's key.
Mm-hmm. They just have to survive that second half avalanche that the Huskies always seem to go on.
Yeah. And that's what they'll have to do. But I guess, you know what? I'll chance it. Crimson Tide all the way.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna see an upset in the making in the Final Four. We're gonna see Bama get in the Natty.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, man?
I have to pick UConn, man. UConn's too good. I'll be rooting for Bama, which sounds weird because I never root for them in football, but I'll go with the Huskies.
That's all right, man. That's all good. It is all good. It's business, man.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had some big news besides all this going on. Oklahoma State finally found their new head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I missed this news.
Well, they got Steve Lutz.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Western Kentucky. So maybe he can bring a little bit of scariness to that program.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your take on this hire, man?
I mean, he got the Hilltoppers to the tournament, which is good. So hopefully he can bring back Oklahoma State back. I remember they had a couple good years under Marcus Smart. So they're hoping that they can get them back to that level.
True. Well, and they had some really good years with Bill Self as well.
Oh, yeah. Cade Cunningham.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Cowboys. I mean, I know that Cody Stovall, the host of Locked On Oklahoma State, called this hire a few weeks back. He said this is going to happen.
Well, he knew his stuff for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of my go-tos for the Cowboys of Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm. Knows his pokes.
Oh, yeah. But we did find another story, and it's official. SMU has made Andy Enfield the new head coach of the program.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're serious about being in the ACC.
This is what I have an issue with Jackson. Rob Lanier did a great job at SMU. They're on the up. They're on the up, and they let him go like that. That's just not fair to me, man.
Yeah, you're
I mean,
right.
Andy Enfield's a good coach, but man, I feel like Rob Lanier got screwed over.
Who do you think's going to get the former head coach of SMU?
I heard he's going to Rice, so he's going to go try to make food taste better.
Oh, man, especially in the AAC.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could get the University of Food to go over to the ACC. I mean, they got great academics and food.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, they got really screwed.
Mm-hmm.
But do you really think that Andy Enfield let the Cinderella run from Florida Gulf Coast go to his head? I mean, I know he's had some success with USC, especially getting to the Elite Eight one year.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you grade this hire?
I'll go B.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But now that, oh God, 2 seasons, that's just wrong. You don't fire a guy after 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You're throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
Mm-hmm.
That is wrong. But you know, who would you say are the coaching candidates for USC basketball?
The other ones?
Yeah, who would be your coaching candidates, your Nets head coach, all of it for USC?
USC, I would have looked at the guy from San Diego State. I can't think of his name.
Brian Dutcher.
Yeah, I would have went with him first. But I think is it official about Enfield?
Yes, it's official. And you know, our friend at Trojans Wire and at USC football at the Voice of College Football, Matt Zimick has made the list.
Mm-hmm.
And he says Eric Musselman. Well, Eric Musselman is off the board. That's not happening. And like you said, Brian Dutcher is a candidate.
Mm-hmm.
But as he says, USC's got to make a run at him. Give him a call.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Wright. Oh, that's a good one. See if you can make Jay Wright say no. I mean, I know that he's not too crazy about college basketball these days on how it is with the transfer portal, but it doesn't hurt to try to like throw everything you can at him.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's John Beilein. And he says, would Beilein come to USC to coach? He's still close to the Michigan program. He's taking jobs in the Eastern time zone. So a move to the West is highly unlikely. Jen Cohen should call him still. But she'll definitely get some recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how Michigan got recommendations from Beilein. It worked out just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Ditson. Do you want to make a Final Four? Is the question. Or do you want to make March Madness every year? That's the question you'll have to ask yourself. Because if you're looking to make a Final Four, I don't think you're going to get it with Jamie Ditson, but maybe I'm being too negative on Ditson. What do you think, man?
Was that 08 he fell just short, or was that 07 with Pitt?
That was the 2008-2009 Pitt team that
Okay,
fell
okay.
short.
Yeah, they got close, but they kind of choked against Villanova and Scotty Barnes. And Scotty Barnes, was that guy's name? That went crazy for Nova that year.
Yep, Scotty Barnes, Villanova, 2009.
Yeah, I think he went to Herndon, which is not that too far from my high school.
And then a year later, Villanova lost to St. Mary's.
Scotty Reynolds. Scotty Reynolds, my bad. I knew it was Scotty or Barnes. I knew it was either Barnes or Scotty.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, they were a 3 seed. They weren't that big of an underdog.
True. Jay Snow says Dutcher is 64 years old, has San Diego State rolling. I doubt he wants to take a new job now. Jay Wright is done. He ain't coming back. Well, it's like I said, Jay Snow. I would just throw money at Jay Wright. See if I can make him say no. I'll be like, here, you can make stock options. You can make scheduling decisions. We'll let you make all the decisions about everything in basketball. And then afterwards, when you're done, and if you don't feel like coaching at USC, you got your little coaching job, your little cushy job at CBS, and we'll be paying you for like that's 5 years. There's a good one. Randy Bennett from St. Mary's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's ever going to leave St. Mary's, but you never know. What do you think?
I think it'll be an interesting fit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, St. Mary's is in California, so I mean that would be a huge win. Nico Medved. I did not think about him. Bucky McMillan. Jerome Tang. There it is. Jerome Tang. I mean, he's a go-to right there. Amir Abdur-Rahim from South Florida. My God.
I mean, I feel like that's taking the cart before the horse a little bit. I mean, he's had one good year with South Florida.
Yeah. What's up, Todd Gwen? You were saying, well?
I mean, like he did a good job at South Florida, but like South Florida team did not look very good against VCU in the NIT.
Yeah, that is gonna be. There's some questions about that, but I do think he can get South Florida rolling again next year. But can you believe it? South Florida being tremendous in college basketball. That's an amazing sight in of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Pope from BYU. What do you think about this one, Will?
Well, if you want to win the tournament, I don't know if Mark Pope's your guy, man. I mean, he got upset by Duquesne.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I know Missouri State lost their coach to Drake.
Mm-hmm.
So Drake got their new head coach from Missouri.
I think Missouri didn't Quanzo Martin go to Missouri replace him?
Yeah. Yes, he did. But we'll bring it to you from KCCI.com. That's the Des Moines CBS news station. So, what do you think about this hire, Will?
Is the guy that's going to Drake, right? I don't know much about him, but everyone on Twitter that I follow a bunch of college basketball people on Twitter, and they're big fans of this hire. So safe to say, I think Drake got a good hire.
Well, he did do very well in Division II basketball. So he's done such a tremendous job there. So it'll be interesting to see. And I know we talked last episode about Pat Kelsey going over to Louisville and how that's a pretty huge win so far. I mean, he's like talking to the fans and all that. That's a win right there, talking to the fans. I mean, you want a coach who will acknowledge the fans, good, bad, or ugly. But is there any other stories we're missing?
I'm looking on my I'll take a look at my For You page real quick.
All right.
Did you have any April Fool's posts that you were fooled by?
No, I'm just kind of like, I'm not paying attention to too many posts on April Fool's Day. I'm like, oh, that's a scare. Nope, that's not. It's
When I first woke up, I got fooled for a second, and then I'm like, oh, it's April 1st.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking to myself, wait a minute. Big story. Oh, Auburn getting kicked out by the SEC. Wait a minute. This is April 1st.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm like, Clemson's having a Division I lacrosse program. Holy crap. I'm like, oh, it's April 1st. Yeah.
Clemson and lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you, Todd Gwynn. I appreciate it. But I will say, though, Mark Sears and all those guys at Bama, they've done such a tremendous job this season. I'm so glad they made it to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot to mention about Clemson because I got too excited about Alabama. But do you think we're ever going to? I don't think we're going to be seeing Brad Brunell on the hot seat again, unless they have like a 9-win season.
I'll give it I mean, how long did Frank Martin last before he got fired at South Carolina after that Final Four?
I'd say 4 years.
I think Todd might know this one.
Yeah, because 2018, 19, 19, 20, 21.
5 years.
5. Oh, yeah, 5 years. That's right.
So maybe in like 3 or 4, Brunell could get fired? Because he didn't reach the Final Four. He only reached the Elite Eight.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he's coming short of 500 winning percentage, he's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there's our answer. 5 years. Thank you, Todd Gwynn. And, you know, we'd like to dedicate this show to Moose, who's commented on here a lot in past shows. We'd like to give him some prayers because his dad has been diagnosed with liver cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're sending all the prayers for him that we can give him. We're praying for him and his family. And you got our prayers, Moose, if you're watching this show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We just want you to know that. And we're thinking about you, and you're in our hearts, man. We're thinking about you. But after we discussed a little bit about Clemson, and I know that the NIT has the matchups for tomorrow. We got Utah and Indiana State, and we got Georgia and Seton Hall. We already picked those on Friday. And I always forget. Like, are they having like the title game for Thursday? How are they handling it?
I can search it up.
Uh-uh.
All right, here we go. 2024. Final is April. Final is Final is Thursday. Semifinal is tomorrow.
Ooh. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the NIT. I'd like to see if Indiana State wins it or if Seton Hall wins
I know
it.
Seton Hall got a big injury, I heard, in their quarterfinal win.
That's bad.
That's why I saw something on that.
I hope they're doing all right. But I do wonder if there's been any coaching carousel stories we've missed so far. Wonder if we got all of them. Huh. Oh, Charleston got Chris Mack to be their new head coach.
Chris Mack's back. Oh, man. Louisville fan hated Chris Mack. Oh, man, not as much as they hated Kenny Payne, but they did hate Chris Mack.
What do you think about
Luther.
Oh,
Chris
man.
Mack. He's goofy, man.
Oh, man. Well, what's your grade on that hire?
See.
Oh man, I should have known that. That's where you'd be going.
Oh, Chris Mack.
Oh man. Well, I hope Detroit can get a better head coach. They need one.
Yeah.
But as we're getting off here, unless there's any more storylines we need to cover, what do you think, man?
I'm trying to figure out who the guy that got hurt for Seton Hall is.
Oh.
Isaiah Coleman.
Oh man.
And Elijah Hutchins Everett could be available.
They're
So
good.
We'll see if the Pirates can make it to the final.
Oh, Jason O has a question for us about Chris Mack. Has anyone ever seen Chris Mack and Professor X in the same room?
Professor X is Chris Mack's dad. That would make a lot of sense.
Professor X probably whoop his butt. Oh man.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if Chris Mack can. I mean, he did make an Elite Eight run, but I don't know if he's going to get Charleston the NCAA tournament win.
Yeah. I mean, Charleston's not really expecting Final Fours or anything. They're good to go there. They just want to get like that one win. That's pretty much it. So, I mean, if you're looking for that one win, Chris Matt's probably your guy. But if you're looking for Final Fours, he's not your guy. So that's a question you'll definitely have to ask yourself. But before we head on off, what are the adventures you have on at Will and D for the after Easter adventures?
Well, I'm going to try to get some interviews with Notre Dame players and recruits this summer. That's my goal. So, yeah, it should be exciting stuff.
Well, you can check out Will at Will and D Irish right here on YouTube. And you can also check him out on x.com/Marcus_era and on Instagram and Threads at Klowski414, where he gives his take on Notre Dame football and basketball, VCU basketball, the Washington Commanders, or whatever they call themselves these days. Or you know, his takes on the Wizards, and he even gives his takes on the hockey world as well. So he's got a lot of wonderful takes. So go check him out. Let's help him get to 500 followers on Twitter. Let's help him get to 1,000, all of it. Not just on Twitter, but let's help him get the 2,000 on Instagram. And let's help him get all the subscribers right here on YouTube. There we go. And as for me, you can also check me out on X at Jackson09960335 and on Instagram and Threads at JacksonJohnson543908 and at JacksonJohnson979 right here on YouTube. But also set for Wednesday afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Central Time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be having episode 30 of the Jacksonian with Grayson Boone, the co-host of Locked On Wolfpack, where we will be discussing the Cinderella season of the North Carolina State Wolfpack. We'll be going over what happened in the ACC tournament in March Madness, what was the mood going into March 12th, and can the football team pull off a Cinderella run of their own in 2024? All right here on my YouTube channel at Jackson Johnson 979 and on Jackson 0996 0335 on ads. Let me tell you, it's going to be exciting. So, that being said, we'll be seeing you after the Final Four, where we'll be going over the Final Four and the preview of the national championship of who's in and who's out. No worries. I'll make sure I'm in a good mood Saturday night. But so y'all stay safe and stay warm. It's raining out.